My question is in regards to the Supreme Court decision with juvenile, correct me if I'm wrong, juvenile, that you could not, there could no longer be life sentences imposed for juvenile offenders.
That's correct.
But Pennsylvania had one of the, if not the highest amount of those offenders.
It had the highest.
So,
out of 2,500, 523 were from Pennsylvania.
Has there been, or are we going to see a reflection in any kind of costs for, whether it be the Office of Victim Advocate or for your department in terms of, are there a lot of notifications? I mean, we're really getting into an area, not just with the victims, but also with those who have been convicted, their families. I would imagine this has kind of been somewhat of a workload for everyone to try and go back and sift through. Is that accurate? And what has been the fiscal impact or any other impact that you've seen from that decision?
I don't see any fiscal impact. In matter of fact, because of the MOU, we have been able to spend more time in our decision-making process. As the juveniles are resentenced by their respective courts, then they're brought to us and they are worked into our daily workload. I am happy to say that it is probably one of the more successful populations that we have. We've interviewed 258 and released 173 of those juveniles. And to date, only 3 of those juveniles have been recharged with any crime, and all 3 of those juveniles, the charges were dropped. So we have 0% recidivism rate, and that I have to give credit to the Probation and Parole Office and DOC for preparing that, and there's group sessions. There's a lot of services that are provided to those juveniles when they're released. And
what about in terms of the and maybe this is, I don't know if this would be something that you would know, like the notification of victims. Obviously, if you have to go back and kind of rework some of these cases, has that been an issue at all?
No, we work very well with victims on any notifications. They go out, and if there is a victim, then we do take that into consideration. Those victims are interviewed, and that their opinion is considered in our decision.
But you believe it's been successful thus far, and
Very.
the stats prove that. Okay. Now back to Department of Corrections for just a moment. You touched on it after Representative Dunbar's question. It kind of piqued my interest. I think I followed the $40 million supplemental request in terms of some of the things that were needed, but then kind of at the end, we just touched a little bit on the $10 million supplemental appropriation for the medical care line. Could you talk about that? Were we not testing for hepatitis before, or what is the genesis behind that?
No, we have tested previously. All inmates are offered testing when they come into our institutions, and there have been treatments in the past that have been contraindicated for a variety of things. If you had depression, there was sometimes you couldn't take some of the medications. New medications have come on that are very, very effective with little side effects. When these first came out, the price was quite high. Let's say I'd say about $85,000 per individual just for medications alone. We have about 5,000 inmates that have hepatitis C currently in the department, and we have been treating them on a priority basis. And hepatitis C, you can have this disease takes a long time to progress. People can have this disease for years with little to no symptoms, and we have to make sure that we treat people prior to their starting to have any type of compensation, cirrhosis of the liver, things of that nature. So to prioritize, we test everyone and then are categorized based on lab values to make sure we provide the appropriate treatment. It's not always just a financial issue either. This also becomes a systematic issue of, do you have enough practitioners? Do you have a health system large enough to treat everybody?
So with the additional $10 million, are we do you feel good moving forward now?
Yes, what that's going to do is going to provide about 27, that's an additional money for Hep C treatment that we already had. So that's about 1,500 inmates will be treated within the next year at a total price tag of about $27 million.